Tiquillos de Roga la Vena, y bueno, estamos hoy en una entrevista súper especial con este estimado Tony Demolition Man, el Demoledor. Próximo su concierto el 6 de enero, 6 de febrero, Forbidden, Venom Inc. en Violence, una gran alineación. Y bueno, qué mejor de la mano con un amigo de la casa, friend of the house, here in Chile, Mr. Tony Demolition. How are you, sir?
Very well, and hola everybody, and I hope you're very good. Muy bien, and I'm feliz to be here, so I'm very happy. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. Well, as I say, you are most welcome in Chile and South America in general. Venus Incorporated did, besides, of course, your legacy with Venom, with Atom Craft, Atom.
Yeah.
You are very well loved here. Anytime that you can hear where actually I saw you 2 times before, with Possessed, and the last time before. No, yes, you have 2 times. Yes.
Yep.
It's been great. It's been beautiful. Right now, well, with Venom Inc., favorite album, personal opinion. I love Ave, but I don't know if you feel me, but I believe that There's Only Black, it's being a very, I don't know if I call it very punky, but I love that kind of fast black metal slash punk slash Tony Dolan signature and Venom Inc. signature record. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And well,
Thank you.
Right now we're gonna have you here back again. I don't know how you feel about that, to be back in this part of the world. And well, actually, we would like to know what happened with Venom Inc. Actually, besides the tour, of course.
Well, they, of course, I'm so happy to be coming back to South America. I love Latin America. I spent a lot of time in Mexico and Brazil, of course. These tattoos I got done in Chile, in Santiago.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Born to win.
Born to win.
Because I figure I'd rather be born to win than born to lose.
We have to be winners. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that
And
philosophy.
I have the state of Sao Paulo tattooed on my...
Oh, really?
Sao Paulo, the state, yes.
So Sao Paulo in Santiago. Okay.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Baby. And I'll probably be getting some more tattoos when I come down, because I kind of, I dig yours. I keep the record of my journey on my skin, because I can't lose my skin. I take it with me. When I go, my journey ends, and that's how it is. But, I have a great love for South America. I've been going down there since the 80s, and, I just love it so much. I spent a lot of time in Colombia too, which is beautiful. Sao Paulo, Chile. I have lots of friends all over South America. And every time I come, I get very excited about coming to see new friends, new fans, meet old friends, see yourself, see smiling faces and have a great time. And I think the last few times we've come down, it's been spectacular. I mean, Shogola took us down to do the Possessed tour. And, Peru, Chile, Brazil, Colombia, they were crazy. It was just the best time. It was so good that Jeff and the boys from Possessed were going, we got to do it again. We have to come together again. We had the best time. And we were all saying that's the best tour we've ever been on, all of us together.
Oh, really?
Out of all the tours. Yeah, we had the best. It was the best people. We had the best food. We had the nicest time. We all just had such a great laugh, and the shows were incredible from the people's point of view. And we hope we performed very well. And so, coming back down again, there was a question about. I did a run in America, North America, and Chris Contus, sorry. Chris Contus and Craig Lociero came to the show in Oakland. And I had some other guests came out. Juan Garcia from Body Count and Evil Dead came out and joined me on stage through California. Awesome. When we got to Oakland, the boys from Forbidden came to the show. And Craig had said to me, when I was growing up, Rip Ride was my favorite Venom song, and I loved it so much. And I remember being just a young teenager listening to it, thinking, oh my God, I so want to play that. And I said, well, why don't you play why don't you jump up on stage and play it tonight? And he was like, are you serious? I said, yeah, we're going to be there. You're going to be there. Bring your guitar, come and play it. So that's what we were going to do. And then Chris Contos, who was famous for playing Witching Hour with Slayer and Machine Head, said, well, why don't I do Witching Hour? I said, why don't you? So then I thought, oh, hang on a second. So then I called Eric Cutler from Autopsy. I said, Eric, are you coming to the show tonight with your wife? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, bring your guitar. What song do you want to play? And he went, you're joking. Could I play Countess Bathory? I said, yeah, come and play it. So, it's one of those things that with me, I've got a long standing with Venom from the early days, of course, and
Yeah.
I took over in '88, and I've re-recorded these songs and I played the old songs, but I want to play new music. I want to keep it going
Of
progressive, a bit
course.
like
Of
yours.
course. Of
You
course.
know, you don't hate the old songs, but you want to keep making new
Yes.
music
Yes.
because
Yes.
that's how you evolve, and that's what I wanted to do too. And but I said that if I'm on stage and a fan says, "Could you play?" and it's an old Venom song that would change their life, that they always wanted to hear live, that it would just make their whole life feel perfect. Who am I to say no if I can play it? For
Of course.
example, we were on the European tour and we were on stage playing a song, and my guitarist came up in the gap and said, should we play Don't Burn the Witch? And I just was like,
No.
no. So we finished the song, we played the next song. And then after the next song finishes, I go across to him and I said, Curran, why did you ask me, do we play Don't Burn the Witch? And he said, there's a guy right in front of me, a young guy. Every time I go near him, he holds his phone up. He has Spotify on it, and it's Don't Burn the Witch. So I guess we'd make his day. So I said, okay. So I went to Mark Jackson. I said, we'll play Don't Burn the Witch. He was like, that's not in the set. I said, we're going to play it for this kid. So I go to the mic. I said, this song is for him right there. And we go into Don't Burn the Witch. And I saw his eyes change
Like,
color. I saw his body shake. And I thought, somebody on a computer on the other side of the planet thinking it's wrong that Dolan's playing this song because he's not Kronos. But this kid, it was everything to
amazing.
him
Yes.
because, when you buy a record, you're not with the band. You're not in the room with the band and you don't know the guys personally. You're just listening to music. And
Yes.
so the music is everything. And so if you can have that music in front of you and it's tangible and it feels real, because it has to be real, it has
Yes.
to be honest. It can't just be a lampoon or some kind of naff cover of a song. It has to mean something, then they connect to that, and that's where their world changes, and that's why I do it. So if I do play any of the older songs, it's always when people have asked me, could you play? And I'll go, yes, if I can, I'll play it, because it's important. I think it's important to keep the narrative, it's important to keep the legend alive, it's important that these young fans, because we just did this thing at Christmas with Candlemas. Now, I came off stage, we played all of Arve. The promoter said, would you play? It's the 40th anniversary for Candlemas. We'd like to book you as a special guest, but would you play the whole Arve album? That's it. And I said,
Beautiful.
well, I can. We've never done it before, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Yes.
So that's what we did. When I came off stage, I go up to the dressing room. I walk along the corridor, and there's young people there going, "Oh, that was great, thank you." I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much." And this young guy says to me, "I can't believe you played that whole album. I grew up listening to that album." So I go to my dressing room, and then I think, "What the fuck?" So I go back. I said, "Come here." And he comes across and said, "What do you mean you grew up listening to that album?" And he said, "I said, how old are you?" And he said, "I just turned 20." That album was 8 years old, so he was 12.
Yes.
You know?
2017, I believe.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So he was,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
and I'm like, oh my god, he actually did grow up listening to that album, which
You're
is
making memories.
insane. Yes, because most people, when they think of anything Venom related or me related, or they think 1980s, so it's 40 years old or 40 plus years old. But we forget that every year new people are born.
Yes.
So we were 16 in 1979, and it's in 1989 people were 16, in 1999 people were 16, in 2009 people were 16. So there's new generations now. I always want that with the music is go, all music has value and some
Yes.
more than others, and you can connect to some and not connect to other music. But I think that if there's a new person coming into this and they buy a record, it could be Primeval or Welcome to Hell
Yes.
or whatever it is, and they get a chance to hear that live and they can hear it live, shouldn't they get the same chance we had to feel excited and to hear that music that is speaking to their soul? And I think that's what I do. I think that's what's important to me, to connect to those younger people, to the older people, and the reason that some of the older people like myself, are so fixated on a particular time in that music, a particular lineup, for example, with Venom is a classic thing. When you take
Yes.
the original three, people go, oh, but it's not the original three. Well, they only lasted to 1986 and then they blew up. So it's like, right, so you have 4 albums till 1986. So when you were there living that and it was actually happening, it was very exciting. We were just young people. They were, we were, I was. It was exciting. But those kids now don't get that opportunity with that band. So if I can give them that opportunity again to meet us, to talk about it, to
Beautiful.
relate the album and play those music, I think that's important. But what happens is the older people like ourselves, we want it to be 1982 again
Of course,
because we were
like the
young
old
in
days. Yes.
1982.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
we want the old days, and when we think it's not the old days, we can't handle it. So that's where you end up with this conflict. But it's all based on a personal emotion to connect back to that time. And that's because music is so evocative. Music transcends language, transcends politics, transcends
Yes.
religion. Music is a forever thing. It's like, it's the food in your fridge that is constantly fresh all the time, full, and you can eat whatever you want all the time and
Anytime.
forever.
Yes.
And that's what the music is. And I want everybody to experience that. I want a 10-year-old to come to the show and blow their mind, going, I didn't think music could be like this. And a 60-year-old guy come and go, oh my God, I feel like I'm 10 again, or I feel like I'm 12 again. That's what I'm trying to do, to keep us all with that youthful spirit that's inside us all the time. And we age on the outside and our minds get cluttered with all the shit that's going on in the world and all the stuff we have to do. But when we put that record on that means so much to us and we're all alone in our house, we feel 17 again or 12 or whatever it is. That's how old we feel. So that person's still inside us all the time. Probably why people say that guys don't grow up and girls grow up is because the guys still get a G.I. Joe or an Action Man, whatever it is, and think, I fucking love this. Look, he's got movable eyes. We get really excited because inside we're still that young person craving the excitement. And as long as I can keep giving that to fans, I will give that. And I don't care what anybody says or does or thinks, it's not going to stop me from delivering that because that's why I'm here. I love to do that. The reason I got into music was not to be famous, not for the money, not for pussy and free booze. I wanted to travel the world and meet people. That's all I wanted to do. And I realized that by doing music, I could not only meet people, I could communicate with people. I didn't even know where the country was on a map. I couldn't speak their language. I didn't know where their town was. I'd never met these people from this place, but I could go and eat their food and listen to their music and hear their stories and meet their
Beautiful.
parents. And yeah, that's the beauty of our planet. And while all the political stuff goes on, I get the very great honor of being able to come down there with music and joy and spend happy times. So.
You know,
Yeah. So the future is,
those, no, no,
I don't
wait.
know.
Those words that you just said, um, not all the bands that in this especially case, when I'm talking about the case, I'm talking about previous member of any, XYA band like
Yeah.
to form a new band trying to keep the legacy. And I know it's kind of difficult for you to say, okay, we have a half of the people would like to hear the new songs, Half of the people
Yeah.
would like to still hearing the old song. That's pretty cool for me.
Yes.
And of course, you have people that like both. But
Yeah.
you have the same energy to try to be the most experience for everybody, not only for
Yes.
the youngest one, for the oldest one, for the middle guy. You
Yes.
would like to be happy with everybody, and that kind of spirit, if you allow me to say it, is pretty cool that you are like that, because I saw previous interviews of you, of course, doing my research, and you always say exactly the same. Like, this is your joy. Like, well, I saw in life
Yeah.
twice. You like
Yes.
talking, you like enjoying, like playing bass, playing some music, playing metal music in front of everybody, no matter what the country are. And that's pretty cool, because for me, I'm 37. Of course, I never saw Venom back in the days, but I like Venom. I
Yeah.
like Venom any kind of era. Kronos, Tony Dolan. Right now, you have Venom Incorporated.
Yeah.
Of course, I like it because I like music. Like I say, there's no only black. It's a beautiful record. I mean, and it's 2022, I believe, that record came out.
Yes.
2022, yes.
Yeah.
And it's still today, I still hear it because I like it. So of course, I want to see you playing that record. But
Of
of
course.
course, a lot of people would like to hear, I don't know, black metal.
Yes. Classic
You
stuff.
know,
Yeah.
it's a
I mean, and
difficult
that's
decision for you, I suppose.
it is. It is. It is. But that's why with the old
Talking about the
stuff,
set list, and
yes, yeah,
yeah,
with the set list, with the old stuff, I leave it to fans. If someone like we went to Germany on the beginning of the European tour,
yes,
and we had a meet and greet, and I walk in, and the whole table is Atomcraft, Empire of Evil,
love it.
Venom Inc. That's all it is. There's my era Venom stuff,
Yes,
Wastelands, and no classic Venom at all. No classic Venom. So okay, that's brilliant. I wasn't
beautiful.
in that
Yes,
band then, so this is fantastic. So I sign all the things. The guy's crazy. I sign these, and I say to one guy, "Okay, so I point to the table, all this work, all these years, I point to this table. I say, if you heard one song tonight, what song do you want to hear?" And he says to me, "Angel Dust," and I'm like, "Okay."
yes,
Why angel dust? And he said, this tattoo on here was for my brother who died of an overdose on angel dust. So if you played that song for me, it would mean everything.
means a lot. Yes,
So I now have a choice. I say I shouldn't play angel dust because old Venom members don't want me to play it. Old Venom fans who are loyal to the original Venom don't want me to play it. Or I can play it for this guy because it means everything to him. And when is he going to get a chance to ask any one of the original members to play Angel Dust and they will play it? He's never going to get the opportunity. And if he does, they won't play it. So I played it for him. And that's the difference. I'm there for you. I'm not there. I mean, I am there for me, of course, but I'm there for
well,
you. The
yeah,
music is your music. It's no longer my music. The minute I give it out, it's not mine anymore. It's yours. And I want you to love it all, of course, because then I can keep doing it. But it belongs to you. So there was a girl that came in Sao Paulo. She was autistic. She came with her mother. She was 13 years old. Her mother came to me and said, "Oh, would it be all right to meet my daughter?" I said, "Yes, of course. Where's your daughter? I'll go and get her. She's a bit autistic, so it's a bit difficult." I said, "That's fine. We'll look after her."
nice,
So we
nice.
bring
Okay,
her. I go get the band. We're talking to her. And she says to me, I wanted you to play How Many Can Die. And I said, "Oh, right, okay, off There's Only Black." I said, "Well, why that song?" She went, "Because me and my friends, that song is our anthem. It means everything to us because it was about pandemic and you know,
exactly. It
Brazil
makes
got
sense.
hit.
Yes,
Brazil got hit really hard, and that was her generation. And she said that became our flag song.
beautiful.
So I put it in the set for her. Now that's when the songs have more meaning than just me putting a set together because I want to play the songs or putting a set together because I think it's cool and I'm going to look cool.
sometimes being in a band is difficult, is
Yeah,
have a relationship, like, a normal relationship, some ups and downs. Well, right now, Venom always being changed. Right now, we have Venom
yes,
Incorporated, that of course
yeah,
being evolving through time, and of
yeah,
course the members.
yeah.
Uh, what happened if, I don't know, sounds like fantasy, huh? But what happened if in near future we say, okay, what happened if we like to see any Venom reunion, at least concert? And
I think.
I'm not only talking about Mantas or Abaddon, Dom,
Mm,
Kronos. What happened if everybody would like to do something like Halloween, for example?
yeah,
Halloween is the Pumpkin United, something like
yeah.
that.
Destruction did a great thing at Vacuum one year where they had every member on, and I
Yes,
loved it.
yes,
They're good friends of mine, of course, and Destruction go back to the scene of the crime as I do, and and I love Destruction, always have, and they've always been my friends. And I thought the same thing for Venom would be great, but the one stumbling block was Kronos because you know you know, I guess he didn't want to do it with me
yes,
because he didn't want to legitimize me being in the band when he wasn't in the band. And I
yes,
totally got that. I could understand that, much later. I was a bit naive at the time. I didn't think about it because they were just my friends. So I thought, oh, well, Conrad's not doing it. Then, yeah, when they asked me, I said, yeah, sure, because they're my friends. But I didn't realize the impact it had on him in particular. And because Primeval was such an acclaimed album and was
oh yes,
quite a big album for the
yes,
band,
oh yes.
um, I guess that made it even worse. And so,
Hmm.
he had to try hard to make sure that that wasn't accepted. And I
Ego,
can
maybe.
understand that. That was his band. I had my band, and this was I kind of looked like I'd usurped him and took his band, but I hadn't. That's not how I looked at it, but it's how he saw it, and I had to understand that, which I did a long time later. I never felt I was stepping in another man's shoes. I wear my own shoes. I don't need to wear somebody else's. And I did it my way, the way I wanted to do it, and I liked that. And when you think about it now, after everything everybody's been through, I think they always were hating each other, loving each other. Then they'd steal money from each other, and it was always a mess. It was always a mess, on a personal level. But I think what came out of it was that Abaddon left and Mantis left and Kronos continued. And I think he's continued rather successfully. And if you think that he's put, several albums out with this lineup that's been the longest lineup Venom's had, and two good players, two nice guys, and they do the shows that they want to do. Maybe they don't tour too much, but they do the shows they want to do. So
Yes,
you do get an opportunity to see them at times. And then, of course, myself and Mantis had Empire of Evil, which then morphed into this thing with Abaddon and became Venom Inc. And, I didn't want to record any albums. I told John Sazula, Megaforce, Metallica, I brought him in to manage us. I'd been begging him for a long time. And then eventually he came out of retirement. I said, well, just be my guide, just give me some help. And so he came out of retirement and was very helpful for me because I was managing everything. And then him and Chuck Billy took over managing, and we were doing really good, great stuff. And but then the same Venom politics raised its head again, and I just thought, I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit. They stole too much money off me, too much time off me, used me too much, and I'm not dealing with it anymore. I just want to play music for fans. And so I wouldn't do an album. And then eventually Chuck and John said, you have to do a record deal. So I said, okay, well, we'll record some songs. We'll send it to one record company. If they say yes, it's a yes. And if they say no, that's
it's
it.
not.
We're just playing live songs. So we did some demos, myself and Mantis, sent them to Nuclear Blast, and they went, brilliant, make an album. I was like, no. And of course, so we
You was
did. We did
expecting the
all,
opposite.
yeah. So we did all there. They loved it. Fans loved it.
Yes,
The track itself has got, I think, 1.2 million hits on Spotify, and so it was successful. But then the wheels start to come off the wagon again. You know, as much as I tried hard to keep it together, it didn't keep together. Abaddon walked away, and then Jeff had his heart attack, and then he
Yes.
had another heart attack, and then he didn't want to tour anymore, and he didn't want to do stuff anymore. So he walked away, which I found out from a Blabbermouth post that a fan sent me that he left the band. I was like, okay, okay, cool. But I'm not here to put my guitar under the bed. And when we began to do the journey again, I said to him very early on that if we do this, we do it until we can't do it anymore. We don't give up again. And after two heart attacks, he wasn't feeling it, and he didn't like touring. It was too uncomfortable for him, which I totally understood. And he was having a lot of pains and worried. Oh, again, of course, he died, so it does plays with your mind.
Yes.
He didn't want to die running through an airport. I mean,
Yes.
who wants
Yes.
to? Who wants to do
Yes.
that? So
Nobody.
nobody. So I totally understood that, but I can't stop doing what I do because someone else doesn't want to do it anymore. That's my choice. That was his choice. I let him have his choice, and I continue doing my
Yes.
choice. Now you have Kronos is still doing his things, recording a new album at the minute with BMG. That will be out next year, and he's got his shows lined up to do. We are recording our new album at the minute. The demos for that will be coming out next year, plus two
So you
live
have some
albums.
new coming album. You have
Yes,
a new album coming out.
yes. Yeah, and we've got
Okay.
two live albums, and one of the live albums I've got coming out is a thank you to Latin America. It's all the songs that we played in Latin America
For
with
each country,
photos and
you know, like,
yes, everywhere we played.
oh,
Yeah, so it's a special thank you for Latin America.
oof,
So
what a beautiful news. Oh, I
we're
love
quite
it.
excited. We're
Love
quite
it.
excited, and it sounds amazing. So we're really excited about it. And I think now Abaddon and Mantas are doing anniversary of Welcome to the Hell album. It's the album that they were on. It was the one that made them who they were, and they're doing some celebrations with special guests at some selected festivals.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
why
Okay.
not? Why not? I think it's for me. I think it's all very positive. I think the negative stuff with the court cases, Conrad suing Abaddon, Abaddon trying to sue Conrad, and all of that is just more mess that Venom are. And I don't want any part of that. It's like do what you want to do. If you want to play music and you want to play for fans and you want to sell them product and sell them merchandise or whatever you want to do, go and do it. Go and do it. The fans are there. If they want to buy it, they'll buy it. If they want to hear it,
Yes.
they'll hear it.
Yes.
But I think that when you're trying to manipulate fans who just want to hear music and don't want to know the politics, they don't want to see people screaming and shouting at each other all the time or hear dirty washing. They just want to be there for the music. So I have no time for that bullshit. It is bullshit, and I'm not buying into it. I'm there to play music that I love, whatever it is, for fans that I love, and I want them to like what's happening. And if anybody goes, well, I wouldn't say that because then you don't go. You don't go to an Iron Maiden concert if you don't like Iron Maiden. You don't buy a fucking Behemoth album if you love Bon Jovi. You just don't do it. You don't have to go on Bon Jovi's homepage and tell him that he sucks because Behemoth's better. It's different music. So I just think that you should be open to whatever you like, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's great. Some people like ice cream. Some people hate chocolate. I can't believe it, but they do. I mean, but it depends what your favorite ice cream flavor is. I don't eat vanilla ice cream if I don't like it. I eat the one that I like. So,
That's
I
the
mean, I think
beautiful of to choose
it's just the truth. Yeah.
decisions. Yes.
Yes. So allow yourself that freedom, to be truly free. You buy the music you like, you listen to the music you like, and you go and see the music you like. And the music you don't like, you don't buy it, you don't listen to it, and you don't go and see it. It's that simple. But you do not have a right to tell a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old that they shouldn't be liking that particular music or listening to it. You just don't have that right. Nobody told us. And if they did tell us, we'd go fuck off. We'd do whatever we want. And so will they. So by creating that kind of, atmosphere, it's just so negative. And music is not supposed to be about the
No,
negativity. It's
no.
about freedom. It's about saving us. When you play a song and a guy comes up and says, I had cancer. Oh, have I lost you?
I'm here, here.
There you go. When you play a song and a guy comes to you after the concert and says, I had cancer and that album got me through everything, or I had a divorce, or I lost my parents, or I lost my child, or I broke up with my girlfriend, or my house burned down, and they're saying your music helped them to get through those bad times in life.
You
That's
nailed
when
it.
it's pure. That's
Yes.
when it's beautiful. And that's
Yeah.
what it's about. That's what it's all about. Music is our emotional context. It has you sitting on a cliff's edge watching the sun go down, crying like a baby because you can't see your mother again, or with the biggest erection in the world because you're gonna get a jump on the most beautiful woman you're with, or it makes you go home from school and kick the fuck out of the furniture in your bedroom because you're just pissed off with the world. But that's what
Yes.
music does to us. So if you are listening to the music, and I've said this before, and people go, I love you, I love you, I love you. And there's people go, I fucking hate him, I fucking hate him. I go, well, it's the same emotion. It's just a yin to a yang, it's a black to a white. But I'd rather that you were inspired by the music to be emotional than not be emotional. Because if you play a concert and everybody just sits there like that, and then goes home, I mean, you've done nothing. You haven't done your job. You haven't connected with anybody. Even if you're standing in front of 2,000 people and they're throwing balls at you, at least you're connecting to somebody. So if they hate you or they love you with passion, they're passionate about what they believe in. And I want them to be passionate. I was passionate. I was that passionate. And I'm passionate on stage because I want you to be passionate too. And I don't mind, you can flip me the bird if that's what you feel like you want to do. I'll flip you the bird back. It's like, it's okay. Just express yourself. Be free to express yourself. We don't, I used to go on stage and say, tonight, there's one rule, and that is there's no fucking rules.
Agree. Agree.
And some promoters would say, you shouldn't go on stage and say that because these people might get real. I said, listen, these people, including ourselves, have to abide by rules every fucking day we're on this planet. For 1.5 hours of one night in their life, can they just have no rules? Can they just enjoy themselves without worrying about anything? And strangely enough, maybe it's this kind of music because it's extreme. But when you go out of church, I never used to see anybody smiling. But when you leave a Napalm Death concert, everybody's grinning and fucking drunk and having a great time. So that's extreme music. It frees our souls. It liberates us. It exercises all the shit that we've been dealing with. We can let it go in the concert and we can come together as one beautiful mass of humanity. And that's what I want to happen in the end. Go nuts, go crazy. And when I've been at shows and I've seen people go hit the ground because they've been, swirling around in some kind of, as soon as everybody picks them up, everybody makes sure everybody's okay. Yes, there's accidents and yes, things happen and stuff, but I get people coming up to me like blood everywhere, just going, "That was the most amazing thing of my life," and you're going,
Uh,
"That's beautiful. That's beautiful."
that's the
I'm sure
beauty
in the
of
morning,
metal. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
in the morning they probably wake up going, "Oh my God, what the fuck
What I
happened?"
did last night. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you're trying to get at. You're trying to see those people who come thinking, well, let's see what's happening, and you see them starting to light up, and then their soul just lifts up, and then they go nuts. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do. I'm trying to get you to do that. Join me, let go, just let go. It doesn't matter. Just let the music hit you and just let go. That's what it should be every time.
That something that I like from you, Mr. Tony Dolan. And it's something very simple that happened with my friend Jeff Becerra. Jeff Becerra, how are you,
Yes.
sir? How you be okay?
Hey,
Um,
Jeff.
it's like yeah, it's like both of you. Maybe that's why you are very close, related. Besides work and friendship,
Yeah.
you have the same passion of energy among fans because maybe you say, okay, I'm Tony Dolan. I'm from Venom. Now I'm playing this, and I don't care the rest of the world. And maybe that's okay from a few people. Okay, I
Yeah,
respect that. Everybody has their own way to live the life. But you have so much energy. And I see you talking in front of me with this kind of feeling to do, or yeah, feeling to will. You
yeah,
want to play in front of everybody. Same with Mr. Jeff. So that's why a lot of people always gonna be successful, always gonna be love. In this case, you Venom Inc., the project Venom Inc. in Latin America, regardless what happened with Venom Inc. or Venom or whatever, at the
yeah,
end, music joins everybody. I mean, music gathers
yes,
all. That's the word. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm a fan. I love
of
metal
course,
music. Of course, I would like to see everybody, every lineup band, every original lineup band. And
exactly.
I mean, everybody likes that. But nothing is perfect in these days. Nothing is perfect in this life.
You
But
know, there's
what
people.
matters
There's
is that you're still doing it. You
Yeah,
know?
that's the point. The point is that there's not many people now who are not
Yes.
of an older age that
Yes.
saw the original Black Sabbath or Motorhead, the original lineup, or the original Napalm Death, or the original Sepultura, or
Yes.
the original Iron Maiden, or you know, I mean, it goes on. But does that mean they don't have fans? Of
Of
course
course.
they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do. And does that mean that they shouldn't play? Of course they should. And should they play all of the music? Of course they should. Because a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old girl, boy, whatever, might buy an album today. They might buy There's Only Black. And then they think this is interesting. I wonder if there's any more music. And then they go online and have a Google, and then they realize, so that guy and that guy, they did those albums. Oh, that guy did those albums, and all of a sudden they've now got Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, What Was Satan, Possessed, Primeval, Calm Before the Storm, Temples of Ice, Wastelands, Resurrection, you know, and that's
Yes.
what
Yes.
happens. That's what
And
happens.
that's my
You open the gate to all of it. And I used to say, I don't care when you find Venom. Like here, here, here. I don't care when you find, as long as you find them. And when you find them, go through everything because you might not like everything. You might love everything, but there will be something that you connect to somewhere along the line. And for me, I think that's the journey. That's why I think it's important to keep pushing that, you know, so that young fans, new fans get to realize what's there that maybe they didn't know about and introduce them to that, you know?
it's difficult this time of especially this time when a lot of bands are divided by anything. And right now we have a lot of people who try to be back on try to new people, younger generation, because like you
Yeah.
say, every day is a lot of people born.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
and at the end, the point is to maintain the music alive, the legacy, of course, of the name alive,
Yeah.
and why not create something new? And that's
Yes.
something that I see from Venom Inc. Tony Dolan is doing something new, maintain and respecting, of course, the
Yeah.
legacy. So,
Yes.
so for me, Mr. Tony Dolan, you said that you are recording a new album.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if you can tell us um, what time can be hearing any new single or any new record, perhaps.
Well,
Okay,
we're hoping to play one of the new songs when we come to Latin America next month.
work
So
for me. Work for
we
me.
want to play one of the new songs. Just a little teaser for
Yeah,
you
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we're looking for the live albums to go out around about March, April,
Okay,
and then the album through to go out hopefully by summer. That's where we're aiming. So towards summer's end, we've got a big tour announcement coming on Tuesday. Which we're quite excited about. And so that's going to push us towards the end of summer. So we're going to try and fit in the gaps that we've got between festivals and now,
Yes.
after Latin America, and see if we can get it all finished up for the record label so we can get it out. It may be later than we want, but it will be this year without a doubt. So, but
Hopefully.
it's I have to say, Curran Murphy, who's now the guitarist for Venom Inc, is he was in Annihilator and Nevermore,
Yes.
and
Mr.
had his own band.
Corey Murphy.
Curran Murphy, yeah, and
Yes.
he did 72 Legions, and he is the most incredible player I've ever played with. I mean, he is just an incredible guitarist, and it makes me, it's made me more passionate again about my instrument and to play. And of course, Mark Jackson, who is an old friend and
On the
was with us
drums. Yes.
for Empire of Evil, and he again, he's like putting, if you put Dave Lombardo heads on Bill Ward from Black Sabbath, it's like that's Mark Jackson. He thinks he's like a modern drummer, but he has an old school heart. But his playing comes from here, and that's something I always say to young musicians. It's like, don't play from here. The technical side is great. You can be fluid. That's amazing. But all the best players play from their heart. Don't play from
I
your head,
agree.
play from your heart. And when you play from your heart, everything changes. Everything changes, and you just enjoy it more. You become part of the music. And I suppose that was the analogy I was saying. If we play the older songs, it's like they can't be cabaret versions of the old songs. It's not karaoke. These songs, the early Venom songs in particular, they meant something. They really meant something. Maybe not to the guys who wrote them, but certainly to the listeners, they meant something. And Venom was like the Big Bang. If you think about the Big Bang,
Yes.
there was this explosion. Now, all the relevant parts to the whole entity were there, but they hadn't formed quite yet. So from the Big Bang, the explosion, you had all the elements going out, and then all these little planets started forming, and that's the Slayer, and that's Metallica, and that's all influenced, not influenced directly by Venom, of course, by multiple things, but Venom was a catalyst that allowed extreme music to be
Yes.
accepted when it
Yes.
wasn't accepted, and that's down to Neat Records for putting the album out, and it's down to Jeff Barton from Sounds, who told Dave Woods after listening to the first demo, you have to put this out. And Dave was like, I don't understand it. And he said, I've never heard anything like this before. I don't, you have to release it. Of course, Dave Woods at Neat Records releases it, and nobody had ever heard anything like it before, and the world changed overnight because all of those budding musicians who were struggling to play four chords on a guitar, the Tom Warriors and the Batteries, the Quorthorns, and the Angel Grippers from Sodom, and all of these bands were all listening to this Slayers and all going, "Oh my God, we can be ugly and play ugly, and it's okay, and we can
Play
create our
ugly.
own art form." And that's the beauty of the whole thing. And I want to still remind young musicians when we play that yes, digital revolution is amazing. Yes, you can do all this mapping and copy and pasting and all
Yes.
these digital effects and stuff. But when you get three guys in front of you plugged into amps, playing a drum kit for real, as loud as they can, like Motorhead, you stand in front of that and tell me it doesn't do anything to you, because that's like, what the fuck is going on? That's when it becomes real, and it affects you. And I want to remind the young audiences and the young bands, you have to be passionate. You have to be passionate. You have to be part of it. The
Agree.
minute you disconnect yourself and it becomes too digital, too clean, too produced, you lose that connection to the music, and then the fans lose that connection to you. The whole idea is to keep the connection, That you put it this way: if I sent a letter to you and you knew the letter was coming, you'd talk to me every other day and say, the letter hasn't arrived yet. There's still the letter. If I told you it's a surprise letter, but if I send you an email, you'd get it right now. And there's
Yes.
no surprise.
Yes.
That's like going down on Christmas morning and none of your presents are wrapped up. They're just there. They're still cool because that's what you wanted, but nothing's wrapped
But
up.
it's
There's
not
no
a
excitement
surprise.
anymore.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and so that's what I want to do. I want them to feel the reality of the surprise, of the excitement, of it being real. And it's a moment in your life that won't happen again because the next time we play, it won't be like this time. Every time is different, and that's how it should be.
You know, I of course, as an interviewer, I see you and I hear you right now, and it's made me glad because, like I say, I love to interview because first of all, something that I like to do. I
Yeah.
have to do. I have to say this is my passion. Besides my daily jobs, 24/7. This is my passion. I really like it, and I like when I'm an artist like you, a musician and a legend, of course, talks with this most passionate way, and not only because, like you say, about money, touring, whatever, is because this is what you are right now. Of course, this is what Tony Dolan are. Touring, of course, keeping the legacy, of course, maintaining and creating new things, and at the end, you're gonna see a full, complete band uh, doing what they like most, playing
Yeah.
live, playing loud. Like you say, some example like Motorhead. Of course, every time that I sing you live, always gonna be like this is like if can Lemmy Kilmister be playing right now Overkill with Motorhead, playing with so fast, same as you,
Yeah.
because you have that same feeling. And I like it. This is what I like most about band. Because like you say, everybody can right now plug anything, and of course you're gonna have a lot of special effects thanks to
Yes.
the technology. That is a good tool, of course.
Yes,
It's
of
a good
course.
tool.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
playing live, like actually playing live, beside the technical issues, is beautiful. And
Yeah.
live was again, we're gonna see it next February 6th with Forbidden. And by the way,
Yes.
Forbidden,
Ah.
Violence, and Venom Inc. One night, Teatro Coliseo.
Oh my God.
Of course, it's a beautiful
And
day to be alive.
Forbidden are recording the new album right now,
Yes.
and myself and Craig and Sean Killian, obviously from Violence, we're doing an interview thing together next week, I think, and they're so excited, and we're all just so excited to be able to play together. And I mean, when I think of the Violence set and what Forbidden have ready to go and what we've put together, it's going to be the most incredible night.
Hell
Yeah,
of
and
a
it's
night.
cheers, everybody. This is the Demolition Man, and this is Rock Alabama. And also, we're going to see you guys. We're going to see you guys at the Coliseo on the 6th of February, right there in Santiago, Chile. Be there. I'm going to tell you violence, forbidden, and Venom Inc. We're going to tear the place to bits with your help. We'll see you very soon. I love you. I love you. Ti amo. Ti amo.